Alright, thanks for the intro. We're gonna get going here. Just to explain how it works, this category is max stats 99 nitros, so I'm trying to max out my truck and completely get all the nitros possible, and I'm trying to get to the point where I can't spend any more money. It's kind of an arbitrary category, but it's the only thing that really makes sense for speedrunning, so here we go.
Cool, good luck, man.
Alright, and so we're gonna start out, we get tires and shocks mainly at the start. I'm going to try to get one acceleration in early, but mostly just get acceleration and shocks because they're cheaper and they help you on bumps and turns, which, as you might notice, is most of the track. So that's what we go for first. And as you're probably noticing already, I'm in the red truck, and the gray truck in front of me is super overpowered. This game started out as an arcade game, and the gray truck was steel quarters from unsuspecting little children. So the gray truck's super overpowered, and you can get really close, but it's very difficult to beat him, at least in the early game especially. Once you get max stats, it's not so bad, but he's got a lot of upgrades starting out the race, so it's kind of hard to beat him, especially because I got bad RNG and didn't get any of the power-ups that were there. So finishing second is kind of what you're expected to do. If you could win, it's just a bonus, but finishing second is what you absolutely have to do to get a good run in, and then hope you get good RNG with power-ups. There are a couple glitches that can happen in that first race. The first race is actually one of the more difficult ones. There are a couple glitches that can happen, one of them which makes the gray truck drive backwards for a whole lap, which doesn't work very well for him, so he ends up losing. And that slows down his progress, and so you're able to beat him a little bit more consistently. Unfortunately, that glitch didn't happen. Apart from that, there's also the glitch where you can just not have a lap counted, which is really fun, and it's an instant reset. So luckily that didn't happen. So far, I'm not really in a position to challenge for the win. Well, maybe. He's probably going to pull away in the water here, though. I'm just going to try to get that power up, and I got stuck on the hill there, is a little unfortunate, but I did get a couple pickups, so it's not too bad. I don't have enough money to do an acceleration, though. I usually like to get one by now, because if you don't have any acceleration upgrades, there's a chance where you can basically get stuck at the bottom of the hill after you get hit by somebody, which isn't very fun. But hopefully that won't happen and it won't matter. And what you really want to do with upgrading is you want to make sure that you get at least 2 things every time, just because you can affect your truck in more ways, obviously, if you're doing 2 instead of 1, and so you save the expensive upgrades till the end. Starting to get some pretty good RNG with the power-ups this time, and hopefully I can beat the gray truck here. Alright, good. I had him lined up in case he used a nitro, he would have ran into the back of me, but he didn't, so it didn't even matter. Alright, so I'm going to get an acceleration and then a shocks. And as you're probably noticing as well, I'm not using my nitros. That's because I need to stockpile 99 of them. And so unless I can get a guaranteed power-up or a guaranteed race win to get more money, I'm not going to use my nitros. It also has the effect of, there's a little bit of rubber banding in this game, so that if the gray truck is behind you, since he has 47, and I missed that nitros, since the gray truck has 47 nitros right now, he can obviously just use them at will. So if I do use my nitros early in the race, he's just going to use more of them to get back with me. So it doesn't really matter how many I use, and so I'm just going to save them for now. This race, I'm kind of out of contention for the win, but I did get good luck and got 6 nitros from power-ups. He finished. I was going to try to go backwards on the track and hit that money bag if I could have gotten it, but wasn't in the cards. So we almost got tires and shocks ready, and we got 1 Excel. A little bit slow on the upgrades so far, but not too bad with 13 nitros. That's actually really good. This is probably the easiest track in the game, because as you'll probably notice, they take a really wide line through this right side of the track, and so this is one of the few tracks where you should win, especially because at this point you've got mostly max shocks and tires, and since the whole thing's one long curve and the whole thing's one big bump, shocks and tires help you out the most. Getting a little bit caught up on the lap truck there. It shouldn't make too much of a difference. And the blue and yellow trucks are starting to run themselves out of nitro, so they're going to be further and further back the longer we go. I'm going to do that. Get one more acceleration. That'll help me get off the line better as well, which is the easiest place to get screwed up if you just get smacked in the beginning. There's a lot you can control in this game, but there's a lot you can't control with the trucks just running into you. You can get caught up on them and get turned around backwards. You can get completely stopped. Stupid stuff can happen, so just try to put yourself in the best position possible and hope you can win some races, and if not, get some power-ups. So I've gotten 3 nitros this round, so that's not too bad. Got a chance to win here. Might have some trouble with this lap truck. Yeah, see, I got stopped there and basically stuck on the hill. I tried to block him off there. I'm using nitro. There we go. See there, I used 1 nitro, and that got me the win instead of a second place. So that's $50,000 bonus for the cost of $10,000 to use the nitro. So it's a trade-off, but it profited me $40,000. And that's really the only situation that you want to use nitros in this run, is if you can guarantee profit like that. So right here I'm going to go for the cash since the yellow truck's out front, the slowest truck. I'm going to go ahead and go for the power-ups because he's going to hold off the faster trucks behind him. And it's still going to give me plenty of chance to get power-ups, but also compete for the win. This is a track where you typically can win because they go a little bit wide in a couple of these turns. I'm going to try to block the gray truck here. I got a good push there. I should be able to hold him off now. I got lucky that the yellow truck was there because he would have had me. That's kind of the way the run goes. You just have to put yourself in good positions and then hope it works out for you. This has so far actually been a pretty good run. The world record time in my PB is 15:45, so you kind of get an idea of what we're looking at. Actually almost beat it practicing today, then had a bit of a mistake. You can see right there, he went by me and hit me, and it just completely stopped me on the hill. There was nothing I could do about it. Power-ups are in good locations this race so far. I can actually get to them. This track has the part in the top left is a power-up location, so sometimes it can go out there and you're just completely unable to get it while still trying to compete for the win. And this is probably the second easiest track to win on, just because of the lines they take. You can see I was able to win that race as well. This is going pretty well so far. It was good luck with the power-up placement and still being able to win the race. This is definitely one of the toughest tracks, just kind of the way where the power-ups are and where the lines of the AI trucks that go. It's very hard to get around them because the track's narrow and they're able to get through some of the tough parts with their nitros better than you're able to without nitros. And so it's very tough to win. Still hanging in there. Let's see if I'm able to make a move. And it's also difficult because, oop, I got lucky there because he got caught up on the wall. It's also difficult because it's hard to get around him in this part if you want to try to use a nitro for a last second pass. If you're down there and they're in front of you, you're almost certainly going to hit the back of them, so it's not even worth trying a pass. I'm going to get top speed since that's my lower stat at this point. This has actually been a really good run so far. I think I might be one or two races behind on max stats, but I have way more nitros than I had at this point in my PB. That was fun. I wanted to get that power up. So we'll have to see how it shakes out. Oh, I got turned into the wall again. The blue truck's surprisingly hanging in there. Third's not where you want to be, but he's used up most of his nitros now. He's got one more. That was his last nitro. Should be able to get past him no problem. Now if he can hold up the gray truck, actually worked out really well. I'm winning a lot of these races. That doesn't happen very often in this game. Just the way it's very much set up to be out to get you, and so it's very difficult to win all these races early. You can see I got caught up again on the hill. And this track, it's generally a good track to try to go for the win because they have some weird lines through these corners here, but it's also a very easy track to get caught up on somebody, get turned the wrong way and miss a checkpoint, and then you have to go backwards and it pretty much screws up your entire race. So right now it's going pretty well. Getting good luck with the pickups as well. It's a shame that that went right behind me. If that had popped up like half a second earlier, I would have gotten 40 grand more. But I think I should have enough for, yep, that's maxing out my car. So now I need the 82 nitros to finish off the run. Oh, what's up? Got turned around there again. Blue truck's been getting out in front a lot, which is really surprising. That doesn't happen very often. Oh, the gray truck turned right instead of left. That was interesting. It looked like the NASCAR driver was trying to do this track. That's pretty good for me. I've got a big lead, so I'm going to go for this power up on the last lap. And then try to cut across. Not bad so far. Now I get to the part where I stick my controller on my desk and hit the button as fast as I can. Now we've got 62 nitros to go, so that's 4 races minimum pretty much, but it'll more likely be 4 or 5. So see how that goes. Didn't mean to T-bone the wall there to get that nitro. That's fine. This is typically a pretty difficult track to win on. Just because it's so narrow, it's hard to get past. Even if you are faster, even if you're using nitros, it's still hard to get past. So typically, I just try to finish second and get power-ups. Haven't gotten very good luck with power-ups, though. So he got me that time. That's to be expected on that track. Alright, there we go. Let's see where we're at. 50 nitros to go. Still 3 really good races, and more likely 4. That actually does put me on a pretty good pace. I'm going to go for this power up since the gray truck's so far behind. So as I say that, he used about 8 nitros to get back up front. This is another one that's pretty difficult to win on, just because they're able to use more efficient lines because of having nitros. Especially through the last half of the lap. Probably could have used a nitro and got that win, but it was kind of in a tough location, so I didn't want to risk it. You don't want to risk wasting a nitro, because that could be the one nitro that gets you over the top. And the way this goes, you typically your run almost always finishes in the shop, and so one nitro too few, and all of a sudden you're having to do another 30-second race. So a mistake can basically cost you 30 seconds of time, and so you typically want to be conservative. You don't want to take unnecessary risks. I'd like to get some power-ups in this run, but none are popping up. So unless you get really lucky, it's hard to win this race. Luckily, I was able to pick up 3 nitros. That keeps me somewhat on track. I'm gonna need 25 at the end. So that's 2 races. I need to win one of them. That's actually gonna put me right at the record time if I do it well. This track has a couple out-of-the-way power-up locations, so you really just want to try to win. As you can see, the money bag is way out of the way, so I'm not going for it. You also notice right here, I'm hanging next to the wall at the bottom. You can actually go around the water that way. See if I'm able to hold on for this win. He's using up all his nitros, but they're all going into the back of me and pushing me along. All right, nice. So this is actually a really good pace. If it works out, I actually might be able to set the record. Let's see. I just need to finish second here. That shouldn't be too tough. I say as I get boxed in and put to third. I'm gonna go ahead and get that power up just so I have a nitro to use in case I need to use it. Blue Truck's only got 2 nitros left. Now that gives me 3 nitros I can use to ensure second. Used 1 there, probably not the best use in the world. Use 1 more just to ensure it. Alright, I'm going to be slightly off of world record pace because the world record's now at 15:45, but it's going to be a really good run. There it is, right there, 15:50, so 5 seconds off of record pace. And you can see I'm pressing the button here and no more nitros, but I'll start the next race so that you can see on the scoreboard 99 nitros. But that's about it. That's Super Off-Road.
Well done, man. Very good job.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.